everybody, I'm Kelsey Foremost and this is Showtune Kitchen. Today we're channeling our inner 90s kid and making Seasonings of Love 10 spice vegetable soup. This is inspired by the incredible 90s musical Rent. I was definitely a Rent head when I was a kid, and I'm sure many of you out there were too. So since none of us are going out tonight, join me as we make this incredible immunity boosting vegetable soup. So this is a 10 spice blend that you can make ahead of time. Inside this blend is smoked paprika, garlic powder, dried oregano, onion powder, dried basil, dried thyme, pepper, salt, and cayenne and bay leaves. So I'm gonna put all of that all of those ingredients in the recipe on showtunekitchen.com so that you can make this ahead of time. This seasoning is incredible to have on hand for whatever you're cooking. You can use it as a spice rub, you can use it in soups, has a ton of different uses. So I highly recommend making a little spice blend like this with what you've got, shake it up in a glass jar, and have it on hand for later. Next, in the prep section of this, we have got a 3/4 cup of peanuts that we have soaked for about 2 hours. As long as you soak it more than 2 hours, you're good. This recipe that I'm basing this off of originally calls for cashew cream. I'm allergic to nuts, so I have to use peanuts, which are technically a legume. So that is something that you do ahead of time. Now we are going to go into what veggies are actually in this soup. So we have a little over 2 cups of carrots. You can use regular carrots or baby carrots. An onion, which we're gonna chop, a red bell pepper. I have 1 each of sweet potato and yam because I think they're delicious. We're gonna add a couple stalks of celery and half a head of cauliflower. At the end, we're gonna put in a couple handfuls of torn greens. And the other ingredients you're gonna need are a can of garbanzo beans. This is optional, but I think it gives it a nice heartiness. You're gonna need diced tomatoes, and finally, vegetable broth. So I'm gonna chop all this up and show you guys how to put it together and cook. Okay, so we have been sauteing the chopped onion and about 4 cloves of chopped garlic for about 5 minutes. The onion is looking nice and translucent. As you can see, I chopped all of this off camera to spare you all. We are going to add our carrots, sweet potatoes, our pepper, pretty much everything on this board. We're gonna add all our vegetables. And we're gonna do this on medium to medium-high heat. And then once we've got all our veggies in there, we are going to stir that up and add the cashew cream if you're using cashews, or peanut cream is what I am using. God, I hope I have enough room in this soup pot. I'm making a really big helping of this so that we can give some to our neighbors and also freeze some for later. So I'm going to go ahead and add this peanut cream, which all you have to do is soak the nuts for at least 2 hours and then drain it from the water. Add about a cup of vegetable broth and then pop it in the blender on liquefy, and it turns it into a nice creamy substance. All right, then we are going to add our diced tomatoes to the mix, and finally our seasonings of love, which is what we are about in this day and age. There it is. Isn't that beautiful? I don't know if you can see it. That's Seasonings of Love 10 spice seasoning. Goes right on in there. And we're gonna stir well to combine. Bring it to a boil and then reduce this to medium-low. Oh, before we do that, I almost missed. We gotta put in the vegetable broth. That's what makes this a soup. You can't have 10 seasoning soup without broth. Kind of important. Oh man, you guys, this is giving me such memories of being in middle school, and actually I sang Out Tonight for my middle school talent show back in 8th grade, and I thought I was so cool. Did anybody else do anything like that when they were in middle school? Man, oh man. Musical theater nerds unite. Okay, so we're gonna let this sit and simmer. We're gonna bring it to a boil and then take it down to a medium-high heat. And then we are going to let it simmer uncovered for about 20 minutes until the vegetables are tender, probably a little bit longer because I really made a lot of veggies. And I will give you guys a shot of what the finished product looks like. So that's it. It's pretty much just chopping a bunch of things, putting it in a soup pot and letting it do its magic. So easy, healthy, awesome. Okay, so the soup has been simmering for about 25 minutes and it looks beautiful. The vegetables are just beginning to become fully softened. And what we're gonna do is, before the last 5 minutes, we're gonna add our garbanzo beans, just right on in the mix. You can add 2 cans of these, by the way, if you have room. And then finally, we're gonna add this nice, big, beautiful bowl of power greens. It's gonna look like a lot, but greens really cook down when you boil them in soups. So we're actually gonna let that sit right on top, and I'm listening to Glory very loudly. Actually, gosh, speaking of Rent, it really is a timely musical to be listening to in these Corona times, because Rent, if you don't know the musical, deals with the AIDS epidemic of the 80s and 90s in New York City. And God, some of the lines in the musical really are hitting me in a whole new way. Like in Glory, for example, when he says, one song, glory, before the virus takes hold. And it's a little unsettling. And it just is such a lesson that you never know with life. You just gotta be present in every moment and do what you can to spread joy and spread love. So with that little soapbox speech, I'm going to put the lid back on this baby, let it sit for another 5 minutes, and then I'll show you guys the finished product. What's the time? It's time to have this delicious 10 spice seasonings of love vegetable soup. This is so amazing for you. It is full of immunity boosting vegetables. We are going to top it with just a handful of peanuts for a little bit of crunch. Again, if you are more of a cashew person, go ahead and do that. I'm gonna have the full recipe up on showtunekitchen.com. And I hope you guys enjoy making this delicious Seasonings of Love vegetable soup. Tag me if you do end up making it at Showtune Kitchen. Thanks for showing up and tuning in. I'm Kelsey Foremost, and I'll see you next time.